Hey, how you doing? This is Politics with Laura, and I got a good one for you today. Just when you think the Republicans can't give you any more, they do. Oh, they do. And this young Republican, this congressman down in North Carolina, he's the gift that keeps on giving. Just when you think this guy, okay, this guy is young and he has a lot of responsibility. I'm not trying to give him any excuses. But woo! That's all that I can say is woo! He was at a party and someone amongst his inner circle, his friends, videotaped him, turned around and blackmailed him. And OMG. OMG. Let me see, it says, and I found this in the Daily Mail in the UK. Hey, say whatever you want, whether if you believe it or not, it really doesn't matter. Well, no, it does matter. A lot of times, whenever you find something in the US, it's about another country, and we tell the truth about another most of the time about other countries, but other countries tell the truth about us because I haven't seen it yet. But what he says, oh, let me show you who he is real quick. This guy right here, Madison Cawthorn. Now, this guy has a lot going on. He was elected one of the youngest elected to Congress. AOC is old news, okay? But this guy, he was elected at the age, I believe, of 24. Now he's 26. And he just has been shrouded in scandal. Yeah. But the interesting part is with this sex tape that is out, he's up 14%. I'm sorry, 17% in the polls. So there's a little wildness going on in North Carolina. Just when you think they're conservative, they're not. Well, this is what it reads. Very interesting. He says, um, the title is Blackmail Won't Win. Madison Cawthorn defends himself after sex tape is leaked showing him naked and thrusting his groin in a person's head. He claims he was simply being crass with a friend trying to be funny. Let me ask you, when you're at a party, you're around some friends, and all of a sudden you decide to take off your clothes and then take your groin and put it in a friend's face? Nah, nah. No, it just that doesn't make any sense. Um, I think he's better off just coming out and say what his true sexuality is and stop doing all this wild stuff. If you want to have wild parties, but at least be truthful about it. Now, I did a video about maybe a week back, and it was interesting because he got married. He married a young woman. I can't remember her name, Madeline something. I can't quite remember. But he got married, and as soon as their marriage began, they immediately wait a minute. They got married April 3rd, 2021, and within that short time frame, they were in couples therapy. Problems, big problems, huge problems. Then she files, no, I think he files for a divorce 8 months later, calling for irreconcilable differences. They haven't even been married long enough to be able to have differences. That's not true. he possibly did not disclose to her that he had no interest in women. Now, that would make sense. Get married long enough to get into the Congress. Hmm. Hey, it happens. It happens. But that was at the age of 24. They get a divorce, and now he's doing all this. But before that, at the age of 18, he is in North Carolina with a friend. They're driving, and there is this car accident, a huge wreck. And he's paralyzed from the waist on down. Now, he has a very limited mobility, very limited. But nonetheless, that's when, no, then he went to college and he spent one semester and he had all these sexual allegations about his, what do they call it, predatory sexual behavior. He would invite women in a car, they would go driving. Next thing you know, he's saying and doing some things that are highly inappropriate, and then he locks them in a car. Yeah, one semester in what is it called? Patrick Henry College in Virginia. Then he runs for Congress, and what is beyond me, I'm not beyond me, but it is just like, whoa, you have his alumni and people there that had experienced him write an open letter going against him, but he still got in. Yeah, interesting. But now that was women. Oh, we back up a little bit. Then he said that it was he thinks that he had a traumatic brain injury. That and coming into Congress to where he has even more sexual allegations to where what was it last month he was shown in a videotape where he took his hand while one of the staffers is driving a car. He's in a passenger seat and he grabs his groin or touches or pats it. But then he said traumatic brain injury. He can't help himself. Can't help himself. But then you see him on this video. Now I can't show this video. I could only show you the picture. Uh, it does. I don't know what to say. I mean, it is uncomfortably outrageous, just wild. Uh, what do you say? What do you say? But the interesting part is, in North Carolina, he's 17 points ahead of of the newcomer. I don't know. I mean, this is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be very interesting because this is what I see. The way I see it is this: people are so upset and feel disenfranchised with Biden. I think they'll take any Republican and say, Democrat, I'm tired of you Democrats. I'm tired of what's going on. And this is the phrase that I coined: social oppression. Now, there's a certain group in the Democratic realm that are social oppressors. I don't need to say it. You know who it is. But it got to the point is to where it's getting really ridiculous, which brings me to my next point, and I'll bounce back to this point. Here, Dave Chappelle, he gets attacked on stage. Now, Dave Chappelle been having a lot. Dave Chappelle did a comedy act and he talked about transgenders, a light joke. And it was very upsetting to them because they feel like, well, it was said that they should not be made fun of. Now, this is what I call social oppression, to where you limit people's speech because you don't like what they say. But you can say whatever you want about them. And if you see the tapes on YouTube, oh, they say some ugly, ugly things and racist things and get away with it because they belong to the LGBTQ community and they have the status, a protected status, but they can run and do and say terrible things to people and nothing happens. Now, because of that, because of that, going back to politics, is that because the Democrats refuse to do anything to say, hey, you got to stop that, it's going to be a large sweep. People are getting tired of it, and everybody's going to vote Republican, and whatever strides you made in the LGBT community, it's going to be swept away like that. That's what I'm predicting because I see the pendulum swinging. And I have gone to, over the years, protests and rallies for gay rights, for gay marriage. But now, in my opinion, the way I'm starting to feel that you're taking it way too far when it came with the transgenders, to where speech, if I use a pronoun that you don't identify with, I can lose my job. You're taking it way too far, in my opinion. And I think what I'm saying, I'm going too far, and I don't want to get canceled just for expressing my feelings about how I feel about what's going on. But I'm saying this to those of you who hear me. Please be very careful because the political strides you have made, you can quickly and easily lose them. Hold on. Quickly lose them. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. It's just that simple. As they say, easy come, easy go. But back to Dave Chappelle. Now he gets attacked on stage. A guy comes up, he bum rushes him on stage. And the interesting part is this, where he was at a facility that's for the LGBTQ. And there was a okay, I'm not going to get into that. I think everybody knows that. But there was such heavy security, and he doesn't even know how the guy come up on stage and attacked him. Now the guy had um, uh, a fake gun, but he had a knife. And when he was tackled, um, and security came and took him out, he went to the hospital, then jail. But he had fingernail polish on, and to me, I just don't see the average man wearing um, fingernail polish unless if he identifies or beginning to identify as a woman. That's my 2 cents. I very well could be wrong. But then they stated that he was homeless. Now, Dave Chappelle's shows are not cheap. I believe it's about $300 a ticket. Now, where did this homeless guy get $300 a ticket? And and if he didn't pay for it, there's just so many questions. To me, I think, in my 2 cents, I think it was an inside job. I do. I do. I think it's someone within a community wanted to teach Dave Chappelle a lesson for making fun of the LGBTQ community. Now, everybody gets made fun of. Everyone. Fat people get made fun of, skinny people get made fun of, tall people get made fun of, Asian people, white people, black people, but the LGBTQ is off limits. That's not fair. Again, social oppression. Yeah. Now I know that your community had to go through a lot to get rights. But when you get them, it will be good if you don't turn around and then start oppressing people. You know what it's like to be oppressed. You were the oppressed. Please don't turn around and become the oppressor. Because just like as you were oppressed, you were able to gain your rights and stop that. Now, as you're oppressing, you're going to be stopped as well. It just happens. I'm sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. There's just so much going on in the world. I'm not even going to talk about the Ukraine and Russia thing. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to stick with Cawthorn and Dave Chappelle. What is going on here? Huh. What? This is some crazy stuff. I don't even have a lot of subscribers, and I'm getting this crazy stuff. Oh my goodness. Uh, oh, you're blocked. Oh, blocked. Bye bye. I don't need that crazy stuff. Mm-mm. Okay. Yeah, it's really something. It's really something. But Dave Chappelle, he manages to collect himself. He wasn't hurt. But the funny part was Chris Rock came out and said, "Was that Will Smith?" Oh man, I'm not even going down that road. I did a video on Will Smith and that, but I find it interesting. But going back to, I'm going to jump back for a second to Representative Madison Cawthorn. Um, this guy here, I'm going to show his Madison Cawthorn. This guy here. In my opinion, I think he needs to make a decision. The U.S. is liberal to where you can come out and be who you are. If you are a gay man, then you can come out and participate in politics as a gay man. There's a transgender Dr. Levine is the undersecretary of health. So out participating politics, out participating in politics. Oh, okay, Shauna. Okay, I'm sorry. Participating in politics. My something fell. My picture fell. Scared the mess out of the cat, and she's mean. Very mean. As I was saying, the cat is very mean. But outside of that, yeah, there's a lot going on in politics, and this election here, the primaries, is going to be very, very, very interesting. Let's see how things go. And I'm going to do some things on Candace Owens. I don't agree with her politics. In my opinion, I think she's being used by the Republican Party, like they did. What's his name? Michael Steele. Oh, they used him bad. Oh my goodness. He was used, abused, and tattooed. But Candace Owens, she'll learn. Like I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I am an independent. Now, I do want to participate in primaries because I just don't. Okay, how can I put it like this? Hasani, could you close the door? I do want to participate in primaries. So even though I am, how can I say this without sounding like a hypocrite? And I know you're going to probably call me out on being a hypocrite, but that's okay. Um, I do have a political party. I do want to be able to choose who I want to be in the primaries. But as far as being a Democrat, their ideology, a Republican, and their ideology, no. I go with the person that best represents what I want and need. And I go through that all down the board. So when I vote, I don't vote in blocks of Democrats all the way down. No, that is insane. That's just my point of view. But yeah. But having said that, let me change this. But having said that, there's a lot going on, and I'm going to keep this live stream really, really, really short. Uh, Cawthorn is a gift that keeps on giving. A sex tape. When you see, you can't even call it that, but it's too embarrassing. Oh, Lord have mercy. This guy, he's so young. He's 26 and he's making, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just going to leave it as that. So, like, subscribe, Politics with Laura. Thank you for stopping by.